Okay, what is this? Okay, let's see. First things. Mods policy. Captains, World of Warships is all about fair play. The use of software modification tool to gain an unfair advantage over other players or imitate input in a game station is strictly prohibited. Okay. General provisions of a policy of modification used to gain an unfair advantage. Starting from May 2022, that is now, any player using prohibited gameplay mods that create an unfair advantage in game will be subject to the following updated 3 violation rule. 3? First violation, the player will receive a warning and have their account suspended for 3 days. Second, 7 days. Third, permanent. Wait, there's a 3 strike? Okay. The 3 violations rule has been implemented to protect players who make a mistake unintentionally. Sure, but I feel like there should be varying levels of punishment. There's a difference between someone using, someone not knowing that something like, let's say they make score timer illegal and someone doesn't know that it's been made illegal and they get a penalty. That's fine. There's a difference between that, and then there's a difference between some guy who's got his whole full fucking war pack installed, is running 15 different aimbots, fucking predictions, wall hacks, Chinese hydro, everything fucking he possibly can, and he also gets the same punishment. That doesn't seem like very well thought out. Score time is illegal? No, it's legal as far as I know. But I mean, I used it as an example. Hello? We appreciate any creative effort to improve the game by means of modifications that don't affect battle results. If you want to use a mod for the game plan, use the mod station installer or mods that can be downloaded from an official forum. All mods available via official resources are verified and safe to use. Okay. Wait. Imitates player input. Oh, botting? Use of such software spoils the gaming experience for other players and violates the principle of fair rules. Wait, so you get a harder punishment for botting than for actually cheating? You get a harsher punishment for botting than you do for cheating? Huh? Interesting. Well, it's good. Obviously, it's good. It's good. Get rid of bots. That's absolutely something we all should celebrate, and I'm 100% for punishing botting and punishing cheating. I'm just not 100% on this whole logic here. I feel like it should be there should be severe penalties for severe mods and then lighter penalties for lighter mods. Like someone changing the color of their ship or adding a custom camo or something that happens to be not be on the mod station list, they should get a lesser punishment than someone who obviously is going out of their way to cheat. But still, it's good. I mean, it's punishing botters is supported. Are they actually punishing actual bots? I don't know. I honestly, I doubt it. Let's be honest, I really... Okay, look, I'm gonna search for something. I'm gonna search... This was when I was removed from the CC program. Shit, can we find this? Shit, can we find the name of this guy? Fuck. What was his name? Fuck, I don't remember his name. There was this bot who had like 50k fucking games. And I use him as an example of a most blatant bot in the world that never gets banned. Ugh, I can't remember what his name was though. Shit. Can't remember what his name was. I mean, there's a couple of them. Here, oh, here's one. Here's one. It wasn't Bob Gunner, but this guy is a good example. Bob Gunner, 51,000 battles played. In the last 7 days, he's played 63 battles. He, like, I mean, his average damage in everything is complete dog, but it's actually not this guy. Because this guy could maybe still be argued that this guy isn't botting, he's just really bad despite playing every single game of every single day. I mean, we have 50k here, and then in ranked we have 8k. I mean, I guess you could still maybe make the argument that, hey, maybe he's just really, really bad at the game. Like, really, really bad. So, not 100% bot, but there's another guy that's an even more blatant bot. That, I mean, okay, to be fair, playing 188 ranked games in last 7 days is very questionable. In like, how in God's name do you even have the time to do that if you're not botting? But this guy, despite being very, very questionable, there's actually a guy who's even worse, who has like 4k average damage per game. Like, he does no damage, like guaranteed bot as well, and Wargaming hasn't done anything about them. And these people have tens of thousands of games. And so I have a hard time believing their claim that they will be punishing these people, because they've had plenty of opportunity to do it. Wasn't it Re-A's? I don't remember. I don't remember what his name was. Was it on the Asian server or where? I think that was on the Asian server. No, he's marked his profile as private, so he's hiding it. Although, to be fair, that guy might have hidden it as well. Wee Man 1. I don't think that was his name either. I mean, this guy is probably also a pretty blatant bot, let's be honest. Battles in the last 7 days, 136. The damage he does in his ships is like 11, 12k. A bot running in and left clicking before dying roughly does this damage. So Twitch doesn't care about this? What? What does Twitch have to do with anything? Huh? What? What does Twitch have to do with anything? Yeah, no. Like, is this guy a bot? I don't know. Possibly. Highly likely. But I don't think this, I mean, highly likely. But even then, this guy has higher average numbers than the other guy I saw. Because there was a guy who literally had 4,000 or 5,000. Like, the idea that Wargaming is going out for the bots is something I have a hard time believing, because there's all these old accounts that people know about, that they've seen play, who clearly play like a bot. They sail in a straight line and then they die. And they've been doing that for like 5 years, and Wargaming hasn't done shit about them. Oh, I think it could have been Stefan. I think it was Steph. I think someone just linked me the guy I was looking for. Stefan. That's the guy. I'm almost certain that was him. Yeah, it's Stefan. It's guaranteed this guy. I think it was this guy, Stefan. I had him in a game, and he was so clearly botting. Like, he just went in straight lines. He turned like a bot full 90 degrees and all this shit. This is the guy who has like, yeah, look at his average damages. Like, Langley is something, this is a ship I think he actually plays. Like, this is something he actually plays. But then everything else he bots. Everything else he just bots. And you can see his like damages. You can see the difference in the ships that he actually plays, like Bogue and Langley. And then you can see all the other ships that he just bots in. This guy, I remember this guy. And yeah, his average damages are, I mean, literally, how do you play midway for 101 games and average 4.5k damage? You don't. It's botting. It's 100% botting. Like, it's undeniably guaranteed this guy. 500 Hindenburg games, 4,600 damage. Like, seriously, 500 Hindenburg games, 4,600 damage. This is the most blatant, clear bot ever. And I have reported this guy personally because I had him in a couple of matches, and Wargaming are well aware of him, and it's blatant that this guy is botting his ass off, and they're not doing shit about it. They're not doing shit about it. So the idea that Wargaming suddenly stepping up and dealing with the bots, I highly doubt it. Because so far, their track record is shit. Their track record is absolute shit when it comes to dealing with these people. Absolute shit. So, if they actually start dealing with the bots, I will be extremely pleasantly surprised. But so far, they have shown zero incentive to actually deal with them. I think there was a guy who was literally called bot something. Oh yeah, actually here he is. There he is. Just to highlight, this guy calls himself Botelho. Botelho. And in the last 7 days, he's played 118 games, where he averages about 5,000 to 3,000 damage in like most of these ships. Is he banned? Of course not. He's still playing. He's played in the last day. He's played 14 battles. In the last day, he's played 14 battles. A lot of 0 damage games where he just runs in, the bot just runs in and dies, and then apparently one Duke of York game where he landed a couple of hits as the bot went in. Has he played ranked as well? Oh, 1,400. Like, Wargaming cracking down on bots is one of those situations where I'll believe it when I see it. That kind of situation. I'll believe it when I see it. Until then, it doesn't seem like they're doing shit. Met him a couple times, clearly botting. Yeah, I mean, they're very, very blatant. They're very, very blatant. That's the thing. They're not even trying to hide it. It's a really brain-dead, simple bot. Now, this is a pretty fresh bot, so since it's only got 13,000 battles. And it's not like it's hard to find this. Wow, really? Hakuryu. 1,100 battles, 2,000 average damage. Jesus, he's ruined 1,101 battles. He's ruined. You get this guy on your team and the enemy gets a good carrier. He's ruined 1,100 fucking battles. Imagine getting him on your team and he will do absolutely nothing and you will lose. Guaranteed lose. And Wargaming are like, oh, the gameplay is so imbalanced if one carrier dies, so we have to make carriers immune to fires for 60 seconds and floodings to 60 seconds, and they can't detonate, and we gotta give them good deck armor and yada 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 yada. We gotta give them all these things, but then if one guy gets this guy, it doesn't matter if he's alive or not, and they don't bat a fucking eye. They don't bat a single eye. So, the idea that suddenly Wargaming is stepping up against bots, I mean, sure, if you're completely uninformed with what they've been doing so far, you might actually believe it. But people who have seen these same accounts that were created years ago and are still playing, come on. They don't care about griefing? No, I mean, that's why CVs and submarines are in the game. Griefing is part of gameplay. Because there's some math that proves that if a player is frustrated with a game, he's more likely to spend money or some shit. So frustration is like literally a moneymaker. So maybe that's why they don't deal with the bots. Or maybe they like that these people inflate their battles played per month. Or the inflates the number of active players on their charts or something. I don't know what the reason is, but it's not like these bots are hard to find. It's not like it's hard to locate these bots. Fucking the players easily find them. Just looking at this, like, come on. It's easy to spot these bots. It's not difficult. So they don't really have an excuse for not dealing with them. So no. So while I endorse the idea of dealing with botting, I'll believe it when I see it. Good, looks good in Excel, exactly. Look how many battles the community played this last month. Oh my god, they played so many games. Okay, but what about the bots that inflate these numbers quite a bit? Oh, we don't want to deal with those. So this is roadmap. We watched it. Okay. This is what we've done. Punishing cruisers. Game events, seeing that. Visual improvements, we've seen that as well. Okay, spring, French cruisers. They're coming next patch, but they're only in early access. Hey, Angelus is glad to hear it. Being aware of your own gameplay is a significant step to actually improving at the game. Because when you become aware of the mistakes you make, you can fix them. But as long as you don't understand what mistakes you make, you turn a blind eye to them. That's really, there's a difference. There's a gigantic difference between a player that is aware of his own ability or inability, and a player who isn't. Because the player who isn't will reach for the most common reasons why they're not performing. Oh, bad RNG, bad matchmaking, Wargaming is rigging this. Oh, that guy who's doing well, Wargaming is rigging in his favor, yada 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 yada. Whereas the player who's aware that, hey, I am not that good, he on the other hand can like look for ways to improve his gameplay and improve in that way. So there's a gigantic difference in just how you approach a game, and people who are willing to admit that, hey, I don't know everything and I'm not very good, those people improve really, really quickly because they find out how to get better. Arms race in random and code battles. Yeah, we've read that. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, what is it? British battleships. The branch of British warships. The branch of British battleship warships, their history, battle cruisers. Okay, interesting. We've read about those. Sea battle, the passes, new convoy. It received positive feedback from players. Yeah, I like that the maps and routes have been updated. You can expect 2 or even 3 convoy routes on the map. I wish they just wouldn't show them on the map for the defenders, or the guys who are attacking the convoy. The guys who are attacking shouldn't see the route. You can expect 2 or even 3 convoy. Wait, do they mean that they're going to have 2 or 3 convoy routes at the same time? With 1 or more destination points? Oh, okay, so there's going to be multiple different paths. I can see that being interesting. I would still prefer it just being a hidden path. So but it's going to be like a splitting of forces? Could be interesting. Along with this, we'll decrease the number of ships coin convoy respected for each route, so as to not complicate the task for the attacking team and to avoid performance issues in battle. Return of Puerto Rico. Okay, Puerto Rico. Well, obviously it was an absolute shit show. Like, I don't think people really understand the level of shit show we're dealing with here. Let's see. Can I search for Flamu, Puerto Rico? Yeah, okay. There you go. The thumbnail there, the thumbnail here at the top, should give you all you need to know. Puerto Rico shit show 2 years ago. 183,000 views. That did not go quite so well for Wargaming, that entire thing. First of all, it was a gigantic PR disaster with Sub-Octavian making it worse, Earl Grey making it worse. It was it the video with iChase joining? I think iChase joined in. Yeah, it was basically Wargaming lying to our faces and trying to deceive us, and them being called out on a bunch of their lies, and it was a gigantic shit show where they were basically blatantly caught lying to the player base, and they were called out for it, they were exposed, and then at first they didn't even realize to apologize, but they tried to like argue, and their arguments were even worse, so it just became a complete shit show, complete disaster. But regardless, that was in the past, and obviously, well, hopefully they would have learned something from it. I mean, it didn't help that they had Sub Octavian at the helm back then, and that man wasn't exactly known for his PR acumen, so to say. Not exactly the brightest guy when it came to player interactions. So, but you get the Gorizia, yeah, holy. I remember him lying about the Gorizia as well. He tried to tell us how the Gorizia was cheaper to get. Oh man, that was... Wait, maybe I can show you that. Maybe I can show you that. Okay, yeah, he told us that actually Gorizia is easier to earn than Prince Eitel Friedrich. And then you literally got like people making a spreadsheet like this. Okay, let's see. Let's open this in a new tab. Someone actually made like a spreadsheet where they compared Prince Eitel and Prince Gorizia and everything you needed to do it, and this was like the sum of all the missions, percentual difference in order to earn the Gorizia compared to earning the Prince Eitel, and it was like 800% more XP, 800% more base XP, fucking 700% damage tanked, 900% more secondary ribbons, 422% more fire and flooding ribbons, and ultimate sunk ships you needed 2270%. So this was his comment. There's some extra effort. This was just stamped as fucking false. Like, people went full spreadsheet on Wargaming during the Puerto Rico thing, and it turned out Wargaming didn't very much enjoy when someone used the spreadsheet against them. They loved using it themselves, but then when someone used a spreadsheet against them, it became a fucking disaster. So that entire like Puerto Rico thing was a complete PR disaster for Wargaming in every possible way. So in a sense, it's kind of ballsy that they're bringing back the Puerto Rico now. Ultimately, though, I mean, obviously, I don't think they will. I think they will be very, very careful. There's no way they're going to make the same mistakes they made back then. They have actually learned when it comes to dockyards. Puerto Rico, though, as a ship, is not very recommended. It's pretty eh. It's pretty eh as a ship. It's got that battleship dispersion, which makes it pretty garbage. In comparison, I would much rather, if you want a super cruiser tier 10, just get like Stalingrad, which is actually really good. Or just Alaska, and you get, well, tier 9 matchmaking isn't that good anymore with super ships. Puerto Rico isn't that bad of a ship. It has its like roles. It's okay, but it's nothing really that special. Okay, players who would still build her at the dockyard. Okay, players who already have. I have Puerto Rico on my EU account. Will be provided with compensation. Select the bundle. One of the following reasons: doubloon, steel, coal, or research points. Obviously, steel is probably the ones I would probably go for here. Free steel, thank you very much. Personal challenges. Return of users black. The event will be going web campaign, allow you to choose your own path through the Pacific Theater of World War II on a special map and build a career for your own commander. That can be cool. As a reward for completing the campaign, you'll receive a US commander with 12 skill points. Okay. You'll be able to obtain USS Black. I hope they're not giving out USS Black. I hope they're not giving out USS Black. Because ultimately, it's a really oppressive destroyer if you're playing a destroyer. I assume they'll make it coal extremely expensive like Nostra Shime. It's gonna be coal after the event, makes sense. New map, Faroe Islands. Finally, we spoke of this. It's been 2.5 years since the last map. Container tabs changes. Training missions for new players. I want them to expand this to not just new players, but all players. Okay. And acquire basic and receive small rewards for this. I love that they've tied. This is something I've been asking for ages. Tutorial missions for World of Warships players that have a reward tied to them to make people do them. This is really good. This is something I've been asking for so long, because clearly this player base has no idea how to play this game. So actually teaching them is very much a good thing. Like, just play a game of Epicenter. And watch how many players ignore the epicenter, and you'll realize just how many people have no idea what they're doing in World of Warships. So adding a mission to tell them, hey, you see that big circle in the middle? That's the objective, go for it. So absolutely a step in the right direction. I mean, the fact that they had to remove epicenter is so tragic, because as I've said repeatedly, the issue with epicenter isn't the game mode. I think the game mode would be fantastic if people played it the way it's supposed to be played. It's a game mode that literally encourages brawling. It encourages people to fight over a central objective. Everyone piles in on that one spot and fights over it. That's the idea. But then you have players who sail to the flanks all the time. And it's all my battleships flanked. Yeah, I know. It doesn't work because the player base doesn't want that to work. This is scary. The economic changes. We'll see how it works out when it's released. Is it gonna nerf the shit out of us? Honestly, I'd be very surprised if it isn't some sort of monetary nerf. Change your battle camera. We read about this. This is actually really, really good. Especially being able to change field of view, being able to change between spotter plane perspectives. So if you have a spotter plane up, you can still shoot with the normal camera. A lot of good improvements on this one. This is a nice change. We've been waiting for that for a while. Okay, Japanese light cruisers. That's going to be interesting. As for the main batteries, the tier 5 and tier 7 and the high tier cruisers will carry 150mm dual purpose guns. They're teasing the idea of giving good AA. We'll see if we actually get good AA. Wargaming, I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't be that surprised if the AA was better than everything we have right now, because Wargaming does love creating a problem and selling the solution. And nerfing all the old AA and then always adding new ships that have really good AA has kind of been a thing. Do I expect the AA to actually be able to defend yourself against the carrier? No. Against the Super CV? Absolutely not. Against the Nakimov? No, he'll drop from outside AA. But it might still be okay. We'll see. It's a shame that it's 150. It's a shame that it's 150. You can't run the perk. That's why Smolensk, for example, Smolensk is so good because something people often don't consider when it comes to ships like Smolensk is that Smolensk has 130s, so you can run the commander that. Where's my commander? You can run this perk, cruisers. This perk here, 10% HE, 10% SAP. And you only get the ship detectability debuff if your caliber is 149. So Smolensk, for example, can run this without getting the ship detectability debuff, which is very, very nice. So can Colbert. But the IGN line will not be able to run it. Well, they will, but they'll eat the 15% detectability penalty if they do. So 150mm is a pretty important threshold for that perk alone. Okay, battle performance. Getting reward for battle performance for each ship can be very difficult to deal with this. We plan to rework the battle performance bonus systems. This is very interesting. Players with many ships in their port will be able to receive rewards from several ships per battle. This is interesting because this might be able to, as they spoke of, knocking off multiple snowflakes as once. Halloween, they're bringing back all the old ones. Nothing of anything new, just bringing back the old ones. And the new map thing. Interesting. Interesting.